Time now to check in with the host of Face the Nation, John Dickerson. Good morning, John. Plenty to talk about on your show today after a busy political week, both at home and abroad.
The decision by the British to leave the European Union, what does it mean? Why did it happen? And what's the fallout? Also on the domestic American political front, there are a lot of people seeing parallels between what happened in Great Britain to what's happening in our current political conversation here in America. We'll have a conversation with Marco Rubio. We met up with him yesterday in Miami, and we talked to him about Brexit as well as his touchy relationship with Donald Trump, what it's going to be like to run for re-election. He just decided that this week, while Donald Trump is trying to win in the Republican Party. Then in addition to putting the economic news into perspective, we're going to have new poll numbers from the battleground states, and we'll talk about that with our political panel. So a lot of economic news and a lot of political news.
A lot of news all around, John. And we know Marco Rubio made that 180 decision. Any idea why he changed his mind? I'm sure that's a topic you'll tackle today.
Yes, he said basically he wanted to still try to serve and get some things done. The challenge, though, is that when he talked about the Senate when he was running for president, he was not, he said very disparaging things about the Senate and its ability to get anything done. So we talked to him about that disconnect, but he said that basically in the end he thought he might give it one more shot to see if he could actually make some progress in the Senate.
And how does he feel about Donald Trump running at the top of the GOP ticket?
Well, he said some of the most abrasive things about Trump when he was a candidate for president. Now that he's lost and is running for re-election in the Senate, he is a little bit warmer in the sense that he thinks Donald Trump still has a chance to show that he could be president and could demonstrate those presidential qualities. It's a difficult subject for him, though, because on the one hand, he said things like Donald Trump shouldn't be trusted with the nuclear codes, that he was a con man. But he now has said he would speak at the Republican convention. He said he will vote for Trump over Clinton. So we have some back and forth about his shifting positions on Donald Trump.
And one last question, John. How do you think Rubio is reacting to the Supreme Court's decision to overturn one of President Obama's signature immigration policies?
Well, he says that what the Supreme Court did was say that the president exceeded his authority as president, leaving the underlying issue of why he exceeded that authority. The Supreme Court, he believes, and he agrees with what the Supreme Court did in terms of saying the president can't go it alone on this. As far as the underlying question of what to do with people who are in the United States who are undocumented workers who've done nothing more than break the immigration laws, he thinks there's going to have to be some pathway to legal status for those people. And that's one of the things he wants to try and work on in the next legislative session after the new president is elected. The challenge, of course, is who that president will be. And with Donald Trump talking about deporting 11 million undocumented workers, how do you go from that to a piece of legislation that both parties can vote on?
Looking forward to hearing all of that and more on a great show. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Nikki.